cloud hands. Okay, so we all know what a big clock, rounded old-fashioned clock looks like. Numbers at 12, number at 6, 9, and 3. Okay, so that's the image now that we're going to use for floating as if we were clouds. When we're in cloud hands, we are addressing the extremes of the clock. 3 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock. And at those points, something happens with our motion. So essentially, this is cloud hands, okay? Just kind of get to where I am, where I say at the extremes of 3, 9, and 12, something happens, okay? I can go the other way too, okay? That's 3, this is 12, this is 9. So something happens. The hands change, but the feet also change. Sometimes it closes, sometimes it doesn't close, sometimes it needs to get out, and then it turns itself into a golden cockerel, okay? So that's what we're going to try to learn or relearn, okay? So there are certain key words that I use, and this one at 12 o'clock is a stem and a cup. You hold a cup like this, and this is the stem of your hand. That's always at 12 o'clock. At the extremes of 3 and 9, two things usually happen. It's a flipping of the hand and the opening or closing of the feet, depending on what side you are. So two things happen: flip the hands, close the feet. Okay, we're gonna actually drill, but this is hard when you're following me in a mirror effect, okay? But all I want to do now is establish what the keywords mean and how we're using the rounded circular clock to address numbers, okay? Any questions on that so far? Okay. You also understand that to cup something, usually you hold it in a cup position rather than straight out flat or turned it this way. This is the cup. The cup normally is, the cup usually is defined by 2 inches below your navel, which is your center of gravity. And the stem usually stays in this position at the same time, rather than here or rather than here, but usually at the 12 o'clock. And the other numbers pass you by, the extremes, something happens. So yes, the opposites help to make a whole, okay? And you're gonna have trouble because two things, at least on the upper body, is going on, and the third thing is gonna be your feet, okay? So let's just try it, okay? And see how we like it. Of course you'll like it. 3 o'clock. Left hand higher, right hand lower, right hand palms out, top hand, palm is facing you, 3 o'clock. Okay, just hands this time. Stem cup, 12 o'clock. 11, 10, 9 o'clock, two things happen. Flip the top hand, bring it down, bring the other hand up, the bottom hand up. Leaving 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, remember, two things happen. Stem and cup. 1, 2, 3 o'clock, two things happen. Flip the top hand, bring it up with the bottom hand. And the bottom hand now is the top hand. 2 o'clock, getting ready for my 12 o'clock stem cup. 10, 9, flip the hand, rotate that other hand to the top. Stem cup at 12. 1, 2, 3 o'clock, flip the hand. That bottom hand now starts to form a cup so that right at 12 o'clock you have a stem cup. 11, 10, 9 o'clock, flip the hand, other one comes to the top. Move your hips and waist to get to 12 o'clock, you have a stem cup. Move your hips and waist. Only now you're allowed at 3 o'clock to change the position of the hands. Now we're going to establish something. Move our hips and waist. Do not move your hands. Stop at 12. You should have a stem cup. Move on by turning your hips and waist. 9 o'clock. Flip the hands. Move the hips and waist, not your hands. What happens at 12? Establish your cup and your stem. Move your hips and waist to get to 3. Flip the top hand, bring it up with the bottom. Right here now, the right hand starts to form a cup. Turn your hips and waist so that it is now at cup and stem and cup. Turn the hips and waist, 11, 10, 9 o'clock. Flip the top hand, bottom hand comes up. Left hand now starts to form that cup, so there it is at 12, stem and cup. 1, 2, 3, flip the top hand, bring the bottom hand up. Right hand starts to form a cup. Turn the hips and waist, get to 12. You should have a stem and cup. 11, 10, 9 o'clock. Flip the top hand, bottom hand it comes up. Start to form the cup on the left hand. Established at 12, stem and cup. Hold your stance, okay? Hold your stance. Okay, so there you got it. The cup is 2 inches below your navel, and the hand is facing the 12 o'clock number. Okay, go. Keep on going. Use your hips and waist. Do you have any? Flip. 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 Okay, pretty good, okay? So we can go a little faster when you're at home. Just to say, it's smooth, I know what to do. So we go slowly to get all the details in, and then we go a little faster to say, we're confident, we know how to do it, okay? But you can't say, well, I guess most of you are saying, it's easy, it's doable, I have a grip on it. But it gets kind of hairy once we start to put feet. Same thing like T stance, L stance, bow stance, part the wild horse's mane. You have to establish a foundation first, okay? A platform, okay? And Ken's motioning to me, it's like egg beaters. They blend, they do the opposite. But essentially, if you take one blade apart, take the 2 blades apart, they're doing the same thing, but in an alternating way, opposite fashion. So another image that he likes to say is that you read the newspaper, you read one line, your eyes drop down to the next line, like this. But all the time, all I do is set up my hand, and all I do is I turn my hips and waist, okay? And I read that top line, I read the top line, okay? I never look on my bottom. My newspaper doesn't read that way. I always look at the top. And you establish the top by looking at the tips of your finger, the eye level, okay? All right, cup stem, okay? So you need to practice that, okay? I'll tell you why and you can figure out why, because now we're gonna put our feet together, okay? So try the best you can. It's not easy, okay? But once you get it, you are floating. You really are on cloud 9, okay? All right. So this is taken out of context, but it's a way to teach you. So the feet are like piano keys. We keep one down, we lift the other finger up, we put it down, and then we lift that established one up to its toe. We grounded, we're posted, we're safe on that left. We can move our insubstantial or weightless foot. We lead with our toe. We come down, we plant down, we're firm. We can lift up this heel onto our toe. We can move it and open safely, alternating the insubstantial, creating the substantial. Okay, so you can do this with me if you're not doing it. So our feet are like piano keys, where our toes are like our fingers. But each time we move, we're not only shifting our weight, but we're grounding ourselves so that we are safe. We are posted down. All right? But we can't keep on going one direction. We have to be able to go in the alternate direction. So now we're at 50-50. We're going to post down on our left foot to alleviate the weight of our right. That's just like commencing form. We open. We come down in degrees or percentages. We don't just plop down. We take note of all those little muscles that we have that help us to refine and make our movements smooth. So yes, we get the point. We also know that one of the principles, main important principles that are essential in Tai Chi is that the upper body is coordinated with the lower body. So here we go. Bring it in a little closer. Set up your hand. Left hand higher, right hand palms away lower. 3 o'clock or about 2 o'clock. So we don't want to go this way because we'll be out of Tai Chi posture. But because we're still, it's somewhere between 2 and 3, more like 2. 3 would be actually out here. But when we're in motion, we can establish the 3. But right now we're about 2, okay? All right. Stem cup 12, using your hips and waists. Actually, what am I doing? 9 o'clock, open. 12 o'clock, stem cup. Use your hips and waists. 3 o'clock, 2 things happen. Change hands, open feet. Stem cup. 9 o'clock, 2 things happen. Flip the hands, close the feet. 12 o'clock, stem cup. 3 o'clock, 2 things happen. Flip the hands, open the feet. Use your hips and waists. 9 o'clock, 2 things happen. 12 o'clock, stem cup about 50-50, evenly distribution. 3 o'clock, open. Now we're going to go the other way. 9 o'clock, only flip the hands. 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, flip the hands, close the feet. 12 o'clock, stem cup. 2 things happen. Flip the hands, open the feet. 12 o'clock, stem cup. 3 o'clock, flip the hands, close the feet. Stem cup. 9 o'clock, 2 things happen. Okay, but we can't keep on doing that, so we need to get out of cloud hands. 3 o'clock, we flip our hands only. We come to the 12. We turn ourselves into a golden cockerel. And we go on, okay? So that's one of the transitions, the easier transition, okay? So that's just a kind of a overview of cloud hands. So you might want to start to practice that and get the timing done, positioning of the hands, because it's not always easy. To the point where next class, you can just do this kind of stuff. Like, I know what we're supposed to have done for homework, and now I can establish something more with the feet. Okay, in a drill, it's always easy because you have repeated times to practice. But in 10 form, you only have maybe 6 steps at the most, and then it's on to the next movement. Okay? All right. Good Tai Chi posture. Commencing form, shift weight to the right, heel of the left, on the toe, open, toe, arch, heel, hands rotate to the middle of your thighs. Take a deep breath in as we elevate both hands at shoulder level. Drop your shoulders, flex your knees. Center the left hand, right hand rises up higher as you glance open to the ceiling. Bring it to the ear as you turn your head and neck. Meet hands in the middle as you repulse the monkey. Center, glance at the back hand that's higher, open. Bring it to the ear. turn your head and neck, meet in the center, pull back, push forward. T-stance, parallel and higher, all together. Set it up correctly. Multi, turn the hips and waist, brush knee, 1. Sit back, sit down. Pivot, set it up correctly on a T-stance. Multi, turn the hips and waist, brush knee, 2. Sit back, sit down, pivot, root down, form your ball on a T, out on an L, bottom hand advances to go up the horse's mane. Sit back, sit down, pivot, root down, form your ball, out on an L, bottom hand advances to go up the horse's mane. Cloud hands. Flip the forward hand so you no longer see the palm. Join it with the back hand where you can see your palm. Sit back, sit down. 3 o'clock. Pivot. 12 o'clock. Stem cup. Pivot with your left foot to come out to the 9 o'clock. 2 things happen. Flip the hands, join the feet. 12 o'clock. Stem cup. 3 o'clock. Flip the hands, open the feet, middle cup at 12. 9 o'clock, only flip the hands. 12 o'clock, stem cup. 3 o'clock, 2 things happen. Flip the hands, close the feet. 9 o'clock, stem cup. 9 o'clock, 2 things happen. 12 o'clock, stem cup. We're getting out of cloud hands, so at 3 o'clock, only flip the hands. At 12 o'clock, shift your weight to the left and come up, golden cockerel. Come down, shift weight to the right, up, golden cockerel. Shift weight to the left, gather your energy, center your energy, come up, kick, right. Down, shift weight to the right, center the energy, follow the kick with your left hand, left foot. Down, holding your ball, right hand on the bottom on a T stance. We're going to ward off. Take an L, forearm your opponent, bottom hand advances, give you your space, turn the hips and waist, reposition the hands, sit down, sit back, turn at the hips and waist to look back, contact, turn at the hips and waist, center of the body, push that energy out, separate it, roll back and sit down, come up, and then lunge forward. Sit down, sit back, twist step, T-stance with the ball, out on an L, ward off your opponent. Set that space and pause. Turn the hips and waist, reposition the hands, bring down the bird's tail, turn at the hips and waist, contact, turn at the hips and waist, center of the body, push out the energy, separate it, roll back and sit down, come up, lunge forward. Sit back, sit down, twist, open twist, in twist, embrace the tiger, then close your feet, bring up the tiger, rotate at your wrists, bring him closer to your chest, push him out, separate the energy, drop your shoulders, flex your knees, let gravity take care of you as you now lift the left heel, then your toe off the ground, and close your form.